everybody, it's Angel from Halo Inspirations. We give you inspirations to help you spread beauty and joy through your quilting journey. Happy hump day. Whoop whoop. Happy Wednesday to you. Yes, we had a new video drop with a new inspiration. Yes, it's the Irish chain with the block. The alternating block is, or the main block is cross in the square or cross in a square, and then of course just a standard single patch, so no piecing involved. Gotta love it. Oh, I don't see the chat box up here, so I'm gonna go, there it goes. Okay. Okay, so when you're here, let me know that you're here. Hello, Sherry. I can't even believe you're still alive. You were up so late or early or whatever you want to say. But I'm so glad you're here. It's so nice to see you. Yes, when you're here, let me know that you're here so I can say hello and welcome you. But, yeah. And of course, I don't see your chat coming in. Guess we're going to find out if that's working today. I do believe my son checked and we're both live on. Oh, yep, we are. Okay, yes, hello. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the chat box is working. I just turned it on a little too late. Hello, Angel. Howdy to you, Miss Texan girl. And Sharita, you love the way you did the Irish chain with 4 patches. Oh, yes, with the block of cross in the square. Hello, Miss Bell. Glad to see you. And Miss Bell, I saw your comment before I went live. I love you too. Seriously, love you too. Okay, so lots of stuff to talk about. I do have notes to keep myself on track. I did want to keep it beginner friendly. So that's where that cross in the square is not hard, and that's one of the reasons why I used 2.5 inch squares and 4.5 by 2.5, because getting really tiny can create difficulty, and I wanted to make this as simple as possible, because it's going to be one of those things, even if you're not a beginner, if you've never made an Irish chain, it's not going to be something that is going to make you pull your hair out. Hopefully. I mean, it's not like postage stamps at 1 inch, right? I could have done that, and you can, and if anybody's interested in making the blocks smaller, just ask me about how much yardage you might need and tell me how big you would want your blocks. Now, I will tell you, because it is a 9 patch, even though it's unequal, I kept saying uneven, same difference. It's still 3 by 3 grid, right? So if you're thinking of making it smaller, the blocks need to be divisible by 3, or yeah. So for instance, we could do a 6.5 inch block, I think. Oh, that'd be really crazy. We could do it. Just email me. I will definitely work with you. But it just made this really simple. Now I do have, oh, I made it look super easy. Listen, Sherry, it's not hard. I promise you. I promise. As long as your 1/4 inch is on board. And that's why I suggested that you test that first, just so 2.5 inch squares together and measure them. Because it's really, really important that you're going to get a little frustrated. Now, I will tell you, and if you remember, well, Sherry, you were able to dip in during the last week's happy hour inside the Creative Kingdom, and I was using them as leader enders, and I was getting a little frustrated because I was having trouble getting my 1/4 inch seam on board for them. I did figure it out later because it's imperative. But if they're too big, you can go for a period of time with your all the way up until you're building your 4 patches. If your 4 patches are bigger than 4.5 inches, you can still square them down easily. But eventually you're going to want to figure it out, right? So I did figure out my 1/4 inch seam eventually, but I sewed a bunch of 4 patches that were too large and I cut them down. Period. Okay. So the 2 patches start the 4. So if you can get your 1/4 inch seam on board, at that point, you're good. You still need to check because it can be a little wonky. Those 4 patches are substantial because there's 4 of them inside that block. So if they're off, your whole block's going to be off. Okay. As long as you cut your 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles on point. So you'll need to make sure you're 4.5 inch squares. That's why I showed how to measure both of those, because the rest of it's all cutting. Okay, so it's really important that you know how to measure your blocks and make sure they're good to go. Now, I will tell you, if you're off and you're a little short by like 1/8 of an inch or less, you just can sew funny and make sure they're good, making sure your block ends up okay. That's a whole nother topic. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I mean, there's so many ways to cheat. I didn't have to once I got everything squared. This turned out, this, I'm telling you, it's beginner friendly. It's really beginner friendly. You can do this. You love the Irish chain, Miss Bell? Yes, thank you. I do have a question about it. Hey, Mom, glad to see you. Using the cross and a square, you could make all the 4 patches and then decide if you want the center to be bigger square. Yes, you could. The only thing you'll run into is the alternating patch. So it still needs to be at 10.5 inches. Okay, so if you make that center square bigger, that's fine. Unless you just do a whole entire quilt with the same block. Because, oh man, the cross and the square is awesome. And it does a lot of really neat patterns that you can put in just that block by itself. But being an Irish chain, if you made that square bigger in the center, you can, but you're going to make your other one smaller because you have a 10.5 inch square here, or whatever it is that you're going to do. But you're absolutely right. You can so play with this if you're experimental. I'm always the one that says, and what if? That's where the whole cornerstones and sashing came in, because I was thinking, what if? And I loved it with cornerstones and sashing. So I am going to give the yardage and the subcuts to the Be Inspired newsletter peeps. Totally free. It's just coming out to you on Friday. Because it just added a little oomph to it. Now, I have a couple things, so we're going to get to there. Okay, we did that one. But you're absolutely right, Sharina. You could make the center bigger, and that would add a whole nother dimension that would be absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the thing about 4 patches, let's say you sewed, instead of a 4.5, you did a 6.5, right? You can, as long as you measure and put your center of your ruler of whatever the center math would be, so at 6.5 it'd be 3.25, right? You can cut them down to whatever size you need, okay? So you're absolutely right, and Sharina, that would make a beautiful quilt. It would make a beautiful Irish chain, as long as you do the math to make sure that this block, this single patch, would match, because they have to match. Other than that, oh, it would be gorgeous. I mean, think about this block right here being bigger, and these ones being a little bit, all these ones being a little bit smaller. I think that'd be so cool. It would be really cool. Good afternoon, Miss Dawn. Glad to see you. So, Mom, you said I did one that is scrappy and has butterfly appliques in the open block areas. And you need to quilt it. Imagine that, Mom. I think my mom has like 20 to 25 quilt tops. And I'm building up to that because, and I will tell you, this week we are going to be moving what needs to happen in the long arm room. And I will be sharing with the Creative Kingdom folk how I load my alarm barn very soon, because it's going up this week before my husband leaves for Kansas City to help my daughter move. So it's coming, guys. But I'm getting up there with my mom because, you know, and I have a long arm with robotics. Hello, what is the matter here? Oh, you like it on the left side better? Looks nice. Thank you, Miss Angel. Appreciate that. I love the feedback. I love the feedback. I'm surprised Mary's not here. You know, she could give or take the chat box. And so I always want to listen to her. You have at least 25 to be quiet. Life happens. Yes, it does. That is so true. So absolutely true. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to do. So at the end of this video, I did talk about, and you're able to see it a little bigger, you know, more of it from top to bottom. You can't see the complete quilt, but it's very close. You can at least see that there's 5 across and 6 down. 2 things I want to say. I can't believe I didn't think of this when I designed it. I think I would have rather have done 5 across, 7 down. The reason I didn't is because I wanted something a little smaller. I didn't want to go 70 inches. I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to keep it more lap size. And when we start getting into the 70s, now my husband may disagree because he's tall. I'm short. So 70 is like really big to me. You know, I'm 61 and 3/4 inch. So 70 inches is plenty. I mean, 60 inches is plenty. So I just didn't want to go there, but I think it would round it out better. I didn't give the math for that either, but if you're interested, let me know. I will definitely work with you because the math is really easy for me. The other thing Michael, I don't know. Are you able to be online okay? Are you having troubles with the internet at all? Okay, that's too bad. Okay, because I was going to have you do a poll. Okay, that's okay. So I'm going to just ask, and he's going to look to see if he can. He's having some internet trouble on his side. So, but here's the question for you guys. This quilt will stand by itself without a border. I am not a border girl, so I don't do borders unless I think it's imperative. However, I want to put it up to you guys. If I did a border, I'm going to use the blue sprigs, okay? Because I really do, just like I said at the end of the video, I really do think it'll make the pattern pop, okay? Number 1. And number 2, it matches, right? So I don't know if I'll do a 3-inch or a 4-inch border. I'd have to play with it, but I want to know from you guys. Do you want me to put a border on it? Because if the vote goes to put a border on it, I'll do a border. It's not that big of a deal. Rough estimate without doing math on a 4-inch border finishing at 3.5, it would be about 24 inches worth of yardage. So half, so that'd be 3/4 more yards. I don't know if that's right. This is just off the top of my head. So I will do it if y'all vote for that. You would make the chain block and then measure it to determine how big. Okay, very good. Yep, you could do that too. Sharina, you're amazing with quilts. You get it. You know, some of us, you know, that's the one beauty about going behind quilting, having all of us together, and, you know, quilters being our biggest cheerleaders and supporters, and understanding that we're like-minded, we love to create, and we love the artistic side. Each one of us brings something different to the table. So, understanding that, you know, some of us have different things, so it becomes where we can pull on each other and say, hey, what do you think? Or, hey, what's the math? Or, hey, how do you do this? Or, do you have experience in this? How do you help? And we're all there. Well, one of the gifts I think Sharina has is she's also a quilt mather, and she can figure stuff out. So Miss Bell has been on the border side. She's on the border team. Border team for Miss Bell, our favorite Southern Belle. Border team for Sherry. Yes, for a border. Okay, so I got 2 in. Oh, yeah, there is much less math to a certain degree. You still got to figure out your blocks. But the cross and the square block. But you're right. There is much less. You just match it to the other one. You're right. And I'm not going to lie to you. That's how I did this one. So I'm going to show you the book. I'm going to show you a couple of things because, I can't show you the whole book. But I can show you what is entailed and how I go through. And I went through to find some inspiration. And I wanted to make this super beginner friendly. So I know 2.5-inch squares. You can use jelly rolls and they're larger. So I just did the math in my head how much this would be. It would be 10.5 inches. So that's what this needs to be. So you're absolutely right, Sharina. You start with the more patchy one. This one can match anything. You're absolutely right. You're sort of here. Okay. Glad to see you, Mayhem. Oh, how fun is that? Okay, so and if you haven't watched the video yet, when you do, just put in the comments if you're on border team or no border team, or you don't care. But if I do a border, I'll update the supply list, and I'll put how much that I did, and I'll be able to share it with you just so you can see what it looks like. But I'm good with that. Because for me, I knew it would add something in my opinion, but it wasn't that it needed to happen, right? It wasn't imperative. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about before I go into some new items in the shop, as far as the video goes, I always talk about 40 inches of usage. And I wanted to explain that a little bit. So, and there's a reason why. It's a big reason, but it's a reason why. So, this is soft white butterflies, and I still have the selvage on, okay? And I want to say soft white butterflies comes 44 to 45 inch wide fabric, which is really long, okay? Lots of stuff to go with that. Usage though, okay, so 44 to 45 means the selvage is still on there, okay? So once you start cutting the selvage, once you cut that off, whatever's left is the usage. And there's so many variations of fabric in how far selvage to selvage it is. It could be 44 to 45, 43 to 44, 42 to 43. I mean, there's so many variances. So what pattern makers tend to do is use 40 inches of usage, which means we've cut off the selvage, and that's what's left that we can actually put in the quilt, okay? So if you think about this, here's the deal. At 40 inches, if you cut a 2.5-inch strip, selvage to selvage, you cut off your selvage and you have 40 inches of use. You can get 2.5-inch squares. You can get 16 2.5-inch squares in that 40 inches, okay? If you have more than that, like I do with this one, I can get 17 2.5-inch squares on this strip. And it changes a lot of dynamics. I can get more 10.5-inch squares. I can get more 4.5-inch, 2.5-inch rectangles. So it really changes the math on how much you need. Okay. So I want to make that aware to you because I cut 2.5 yards of this and I had more than a 1/4 yard left. Okay. So I wanted to share that because it's a reality. Now, it's really hard to buy 2 1/4. There are some places that let you buy a quarter yard. There are some places that don't. Most places are a half and a whole. Now, there are places that let you buy a quarter, and that's great. But I'm taking it on 40 inches to be safe because I don't know what fabric you're going to use. But you're going to have plenty of leftover if you use 2 1/2. Now, you'll have less leftover if you have 40 inches of usage than I would. Because I had a metric ton, which I'm fine with because this is a fantabulous white background or white mix fabric. So I'm okay with that. But I wanted to give you a heads up. You started watching the video and you have to go back and finish watching it. Okay. Look forward to hearing your feedback. You can see all the wonderful comments and lovely people. Hello to all. Sharina, I can't decide if it needs a border on this quilt. I know, right? Because it's not necessary. I mean, just having a binding, I think, really is enough. So you're in the middle. That's good to know. And then Sherry, hey, Sherry Michael, or Mayhem says, hey, Michael. I can't wait. I think I'm going to tell you all the story about why he's called Mayhem in 2 weeks at the next Cherub Chit Chat. Okay, so I wanted to explain about the usage thing. It's very, very important. You will always see my math done on 40. Well, not always. That's not true. If I don't use 40 inches, I will definitely tell you. I started putting in notes that say computation is based on 40 inches of usage, so you know that. But understand if your fabric is longer, and that number may change because I'm feeling like most fabrics are changing to a longer selvage. So that number may change in the future, but I will let you know. I'll always let you know I'm using 40. I'm using whatever I'm using. Okay. Whatever I'm using. All right. So, no, I talked about that. Oh, I got to tell y'all a couple of things. First and foremost, I had a bobbin issue. Again, this happened to me before, I don't know, about 4 or 5 months ago. I wasted an hour and a half of my life. I'm going to repeat this. Not all bobbins are created equal. Okay. And I thought I got rid of all my bad bobbins. Nope, not so much. I changed my needle. I cleaned out. Oh, if you haven't done it, clean out your sewing machine. Take the plate out and clean it out. Just a public service announcement. Time to clean your machine if you haven't done it. So I did, and oh my gosh, it was full of, I can't even tell you how much. I also replaced the needle. I rethreaded. I was still having major problems. Lo and behold, it was the bobbin. I still had one bad bobbin in my group. It's like I said, not all bobbins are created equal, and it has like this little area where it will the thread will get caught, and so it won't feed right. Oh yeah, hour and a half of my life gone, absolutely gone, absolutely 100% gone. So I thought about everybody when I was doing this because I lost so much time making this quilt, because this quilt doesn't take long. It's very fast. Even if you are a slow sewer or new quilter, because the blocks are not complicated, it's faster than other quilts that you may make. Okay, so it is a faster quilt. So I thought about everybody because I thought I was going to cry. Then I figured it out. It was a bobbin. So just public service announcement, clean your casing out, change your needle, get her done, guys, because we got to take care of our pretties, of our beautiful sewing machines so that they can take care of us. So, hello, Miss Mary. I've been wondering where you been. And absolutely hello. I was talking about you earlier and don't know why. Okay, one thing I thought about with this quilt. there is a way, I think, that would make a really cool, more modernized. There's two things. The first one that came to mind was using an ombre bunch of fabrics. Now, I don't know, I'd have to sit and do the math, how many fat quarters are needed, which can be done, not a big deal. But I'm thinking if it was ombre and you did like from one side down to the other, or from the top down, and it was like different shades of, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, you know, the ombre effect, or even one color, and you started deep and worked light, or vice versa. I actually think that'd be really cool. 100% really cool. I might have to try it with the cornerstones and sashing one, because I think that'd be really cool. You could also just use solids instead of having any kind of print or ombre, and do kind of a rainbow effect, you know, or different shades of one color going from one, you know, more saturated to less saturated. I think that would be really cool to see that. That's just my opinion. It would be a little bit more modern, but it would be really cool. Thank you, Miss Mary. Oh, well, you're here. Woohoo! Woohoo! Glad to see you. So that was that's all I think. I took a vote. Oh, Miss Mary, just so you know, we're having a vote. If you haven't watched the video, go watch the video so you can see the whole thing. Okay? It doesn't need a border. It can stand on its own, but I do say that at the end of the video, I think a border would enhance the pattern. So I don't know how big I'll make the border. If everybody votes to do a border, I might be a 3-inch border. It might be a 4-inch border. I'll have to play with that and do, you know, layout and see. But the question is, do you vote for, are you on border team yes or no border team? Okay, so what your vote is as far as a border. So if you haven't watched it, go watch the video, and at the end, or even at the beginning, you see more. And just let me know in the comments if you're a border person or a non-border person. I wasn't going to do one. I was just going to put a binding on it in this blue. And if I do a border, I'll do it on the navy on navy sprigs. I'll do the same as what's in here. But being that it's dark, it'll pop it. The binding will be the same color, so it'll give some lipstick to it and add some accent. So let me know what your thoughts are in the near future. Love to hear about it, because whatever y'all vote, whatever the votes are that come in, whether you're watching the hashtag replay or you're watching a live, I'll do it. I'm not a border girl, but they ain't hard. So I'll go ahead and put a border on it if it is. Yeah, see, that's what I say. Watch the video, Mary. I say the same thing. A small binding would suffice. I totally agree with you. Yeah, okay. Look forward to that, Miss Mary. And anybody else who's watching, give your input. So I got 2 that say yes and 2 that say it doesn't matter. So that we're kind of dropped even. I need a breaker. Okay, so let's go into some different things real quick. I do want to share this book, and I want to explain the book to you. Now, currently I don't carry it, so I gave a link in the description box that tells you where you can find it with EQ8, because they worked with Barbara Brackman. She compiled, this has been a many years compilation that she has put together, and EQ8 published with nope, they're the publishers. EQ8 is, or Electric Quilt, they are the publishers, and it's the 3rd edition. But what they did this year that was so unlike any other year, they did block base plus. Funny, right, Sherry, that we just talked about this last night, because the video was already done and already been talking about it. How weird is that? We must be connected. But they put together some standalone software that you can purchase that it can give you cutting instructions, and it can give you foundation paper piecing templates. Over 4,000 blocks. Okay, 4,000 blocks. I'm just going to say that again. Now, the book by itself doesn't do that, but I want to show you what the book does. So I'm switching cameras here, and I'm going to move it over. Now I have my notes here, so I'm going to pull those out. Okay. All right. So 4,000 blocks. And I will tell you, they're broken up into 25 different categories. Okay, so we do have I don't know if that's actually, oh, I'm so sorry. My hand's like totally in the way. Okay. There are 25 different chapters along with some other things. They do have an alphabetical index, so you can look that way if you know the name of a block, or you're wondering if you heard the name of a block and you're wondering what that block is. You can look it up that way. But I want to show you, basically what this does. And this is where I go sometimes for inspiration, and that's what I did with this one. I went to the unequal... I don't know what chapter it was. I think it was chapter 10. What's it called? Nope. Yeah, unequal 9 patch with small center square. And I just started flipping through it, okay? So going to a more general one that we're all familiar with. So we got a pinwheel here, right? And this is number 1262A, okay? And it gives you all of the names that she has found that it is called, okay, so corn design, broken wheel, 4-leaf clover, pinwheel. I mean, it just goes and goes and goes, okay? But she also tells you where it was found. So like when it was called windmill, it was Ohio Farmer 1898. Sometimes she gives the year if she knows that. This one, the sugar bowl is what they called that in the Household Journal, Dakota Farmer also. In 1929. So there's where it was found, and sometimes she's able to put a year. So it's just inspiration though. Okay, so she does give a black and white, so you could do your own coloring if you took a picture of it and printed it. You could do some of your own coloring, but it definitely shows you what those blocks, what they look like, and what they were called, and sometimes where they were first published and the year. Okay. So very, very, inspirational. You can just sift through and find inspiration. Now, if you had the base block plus, which I think one day what I'll do is I'll have a screen share on here, and maybe I'll do it inside Creative Kingdom if anybody's interested, and I'll show you how the book works with that software. Okay. It's a little different. It's not EQ8 full potential like EQ8 is, which is Electric Quilter version 8, and you can design your own quilts. Now you can design with this still, but it's still a little different. So I might do a screen share at one point just so y'all can see what I do and how I use it and what is capable. But this book is such an inspiration, and you can look up different blocks and see when they were first appearing, what the different names are. Because, man, I'm telling you, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different names that she's aware of for the pinwheel. And it's in the category of 4-patch with pinwheels. So, very interesting. Very inspirational. Hey, Miss Cindy, glad to see you. And she does, or they did, put some beautiful colors in here, pictures in here for you to look at. Oh, look, strip quilts. Look, there's different strip quilts. There's a section for that. It's amazing, guys. But there's no sewing or cutting instructions. So I just want to be very honest and open with you. But look at those pictures. I mean, gorgeous. And they're throughout the book. So just an FYI, I wanted to share more about this. Eventually, I may hold this in my shop. If anybody wants one, I can buy, and we can work out a, you know, a purchase for it. But you can also find it on electricquilt.com. The link is in the description box, at least on YouTube. I can put it on Facebook after we get off, unless they messed up my description in Facebook again and put the whole thing that I put in YouTube. They're supposed to be different, but it didn't happen last week. So, but it's in there, so you can go shop. They have a lot of neat stuff on the electric quilt. Lots of inspiration, lots of help making blocks and getting the right size. And the Block Base Plus works with the book, so there's over 4,000 of those patterns in that software, which is, it's a standalone software, so it can be used in a lot of different places. Okay, so check it out, get more information, but check it out. And yeah, I wanted to share that. Okay, moving on. So Sherry says that book and block plus really helped me adjust a 16-inch block to a 10. You love it, right? It is a nice looking book. It's wonderful. Now, getting help to adjust, because you can put in the block base, you can say, if it's normally a 16-inch and that's the default, you can change it and it'll tell you what you need to cut. Now, for me, I don't always like their cutting methods, because they do half square triangles different. So, I end up changing it. I end up changing the math. Okay, I will tell you, I am going to be trying to finish this gorgeous guy. It is July's Gnome Bucket Buddy. It's Sam is his name. Okay, I've done January, February, and April, or Easter. Okay, so this is July's. All dressed up for the 4th of July. So I'm going to be doing this. I do have a couple of these left in the shop. I think there's a couple. It might only be one, but one or two left in the shop. And it's the entire kit. So it comes with all the fabric, pre-cut applique, so you don't have to cut it. The only thing you will need is some fusible foam if you want it to stand up, and some stabilizer for for some of the applique, so it doesn't pucker. I had to think about what you need the stabilizer for. But it's all in there for you. It's super cute. Super love it. These have been so much fun to make. So just so you know, this is for July. Sam is still available. Not very many, though. All right. Last but not least, Uncle Sam Gnome. Yeah, isn't he cute? I love gnomes, too. As y'all can tell. My daughter turned me on. She loves gnomes. Michael says they're so ugly, they're cute, I think. All right, so this is from last year. I want to tell y'all. Do what, Michael? So this is green, obviously, but it's part of the line of All About Christmas by Janet Wicker. Oh, goodness. I think it's Frisch. I think that's how you say her name. If I don't and you're watching this, I'm so sorry. You can correct me. But it's a Riley Blake fabric. Here, let me turn off all this other stuff so you can see better. There we go. Oh, whoa. That wasn't good. Hold on. I'm still learning. All right, maybe this one. No, maybe this one. No, maybe this one. There we go. Okay. So, it's interesting because this fabric actually came out. Oh, there's that weird box. What is that, Michael? What is that weird box over there? Do you know? How about that? On my live. Look at that. There's something over there. See it over there in the bottom left? Okay. Anyway, so this came out last year, okay? It's a 2021 fabric. It's all about Christmas. There are other different things, but this was still left, and I just thought it was so super cute. We've got words in here of Merry Christmas. We've got some pines. We've got some ornaments on the background of this really vintage kind of green. Now, I will tell you, this fabric was inspired by a vintage postcard. How super cool is that? So this is available. It just came in. The green, let me see if I can turn the light up a little bit. Whoop, that's dark. Okay. That's closer. It's actually a little bit brighter even than that. Maybe I can do it one more time. Maybe do it one more time. That's even closer. But it's a gorgeous, fun fabric. And I know it's early for Christmas, but it was still there. And I thought, oh, I'll go ahead and carry it. Because I had to order some other things. And so we did get the All About Christmas. I know y'all are like, Christmas already? Yep. Hey, listen, it's June. We're going to be doing Christmas in July, right? So here it is. We got some Christmas in. Super cute. Love it. So there's one. I got 4 more bolts. Now this one, listen guys, y'all know I love red, white, blue. I am a red, white, and blue girl. Everything red, white, and blue. I can't wait to show you my house in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to give you before and after photos and during our chair chit chat because we got the siding done. This color is pretty close, at least from what I can see on the video, but it is part of Daybreak line, and it's also all the things I'm going to show you today are Riley Blake. Super love this. Look, I haven't even taken the strap off yet, but it's like, I don't even know what to call these, but they're like tossed. So instead of just dots, they're just tossed, but it's a great navy color. Absolutely wonderful navy color. Great for a patriotic type quilt. Daybreak is the name of the collection, like I said, which is by Fran Gulick. Gosh, I hope I say these names correctly. And this is actually Midnight. What the colorway that they called was Midnight. So that's the first one. All right, another fun one up the chain. Look at this, guys. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try and focus. Let me try and focus. Oh my gosh. Can you see what those are? They are ladybugs. Super darling, super awesome. This is part of the Red Hot collection by it was an assorted designers thing that Riley Blake did. So I'm not quite sure who exactly designed this, but they are ladybugs, little red ladybugs on a red background, part of the Red Hot collection. Super cute, great for summertime. You could throw that into somebody that you call ladybug. I know that's a very big term of endearment, or you can throw it in definitely in a patriotic type of quilt project. I was even thinking you could even throw this in on Valentine's. Now I know that's in February, Angel, that's way too far, but super cute. Gotta love that one. All right, next one is it's part of the Enchanted Meadow, and all of these fabrics that I'm showing you right now very easily can be found on the What's New tab in the shop. So FYI, that color looks really bright. Okay, that's better. So it's even just a little bit more subdued, but it's part of Enchanted Meadows by Beverly McAuliffe, of course, and of course another Riley Blake. So super cute, love this. And the reds with the blues would make very nice inside of a patriotic project or a summertime project or a spring project. Super cute. Super love this. So that's in what's new in the shop. Last but not least, these are stars, guys, on a red fabric, and it's part of the American Dream. I gotta turn the fabric over so I can read it. By Dan, oh my gosh, Mogstad, for Riley Blake. But it's little stars on a darker red here. I'll put here is you can see that there's a variance between the Ladybugs and the stars that are part of that Dream American Dream fabric. So those are all the new fabrics. Last but not least, and I will be using some of these in an upcoming project. That's why I had to order some, because I can't even believe I don't have enough red, white, and blue. I'm surprised my whole entire shop isn't red, white, and blue, because I love red, white, blue. Okay, the last thing I wanted to share, this came in. This is a Lori Holt. Ooh, doggy. A Lori Holt product. Whoop, I'm turning up the light, not down the light. Okay, that's better. All right, let me let my hand go. Okay, so this is a needle minder, and it's a bee. It is so super cute. It does have the magnet. It is designed by Lori Holt of Be My Bonnet for, is it by, I'm pretty darn, I don't know. Oh no, it's from It's So Emma. I always have to think, because she works with It's So Emma with the Fat Quarter Shop, you know, and she also works with Riley Blake. So I always have to pay attention, because some of the things are made by It's So Emma and some of them are by Riley Blake, or for Riley Blake. So it is the cutest. It is magnetic, so your pins or your needle will stick, and it is so super cute. Put this on your cross stitch project, any hand binding, any hand stitching that you're doing. You want to keep your needle in place and not get lost. Super cute. Gotta love it. So, well, thank you, Miss Angel. I love those fabrics too. You love Ladybugs. I know, Mom. We talked about that. Thank you, Miss Bell, about being beautiful fabric. You love vintage. I know you do, Mom. And yep, cute Ladybugs. The Ladybugs is darling. I just had to. I mean, I had to buy fabric, so, and I had to buy red, white, and blue. Let me go ahead and switch back to the webcam. Okay, so I'm with you. I just thought that those Ladybugs were so cute. I just had to. And yes, speaking about Christmas. Yes, Miss Angel, we are getting closer to the MSQ Advent box or Christmas season box. And we're going to do Zoom or another platform for the opening with each other, because I know that a couple of us want to open them together. So we'll get that under control whenever we get closer and figuring those all out. But that's it that I have for today. If you have any questions, comments, and whatever, right? Let us know. Drop them in. Hey, don't forget, if you like this video, go ahead and hit I'm hoping the sound comes in today. I noticed last week there was no sound. You like red, white, and blue also. But if you like this video, go ahead and, yeah, it's going to be so much fun. Hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, share it with a friend, and I appreciate y'all stopping by. So that's all we got. That's a lot. That was a mouthful. I mean, we have this beautiful quilt, which I will tell you, a cherub, like I said in the video, she emailed me. She also wants a triple Irish, so that's coming down the chain very soon. And another quilt too. There's another type of quilt that she wanted. So if you ever, I'm telling you, if you ever have questions, you know, or something you'd like to see, just send out an email or a Facebook message, and that's what I'm here for. I will tell you, next week I'm doing something else with the crazy quilts. Another little something to add to the twist. And I'm hoping that video will be shorter than today. I thought today's would be shorter. 45 minutes later. But I just want to make sure, especially when I know there's beginners, that everything was kosher deal. As I could have gone longer, guys. I really could have done a whole class on this single Irish chain. So 45 minutes is actually shorter than what it could have been. How about a red plaid binding on the Irish chain? You could do that. Absolutely. If you wanted that red, white, and blue effect. Absolutely. We all love some plaid binding, don't we? Yeah, me and you, Mary, in that way, we're very much alike. I love putting binding. But I'm going to match it unless I do a border. I don't think I'll match the border with the binding on the front. I like the lipstick effect. You know, adding a little something, something. To give it just a little something, something. So we'll see. I'm waiting to see what the votes are, whether I do a border or not. And if I'm drop even, I guess I'll either ask I'll ask Mayhem, I'll ask Tam, I'll ask Eric. I'll get their feedback and see if I can find a line. Because I don't think it doesn't need it. But I know some people love borders and they'd like to see it. So that's why I'm asking. It is important, Angel. Always make sure I have my lipstick on. Oh, yes, absolutely. And you too. Yep. Yep. All right, guys. So that's all I've got for today. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by. I hope somebody, I know the cherub that we talked to will make one. Or that emailed us about it. I know she will in due time. She's got a great story, and I hope that one day I'll be able to share her quilt and her story with you because it's a good one. But in the meantime, if anybody makes this particular Irish chain, even if you change the size, right? It's all good. But thank you for stopping by. And if you make one of these, let us all see. Give it, share it inside Creative Kingdom. Share it inside the email or Facebook Messenger. And I'll definitely ask for permission to share it with the world when we go to do our Cherub Chit Chats once a month, and allow everybody to see all y'all's beautiful creations. Plain and simple, but yes, Miss Bell, have a blessed rest of your week too, and everybody else in here along with Miss Bell's blessings. That's one of the things I will tell you, Miss Bell, because you always give us blessings, and actually there are two of you that I thought of very strongly. Miss Bell, who always blesses us every week. And thank goodness we get blessings because they work, because I'm blessed. I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling very blessed. And it's got to be because of our favorite Southern Belle, spreading the joy. But, and Miss Sharina, I thought about you too. When I finally went through the book and found that, and it's called The Cross in the Square, or Cross in a Square. I should look, but it's one of the two. It made me think about y'all, because in all honesty, it adds a little bit. If you are a religious person and you believe in the God Almighty, whether you're Protestant, Catholic, Jewish, whatever, the cross allowed a little bit of symbolism inside of there. So when I actually made this, every time I made the cross, I thought of you too. And it brightened my heart, because I felt a little bit connection with you. It's part of my story. It's part of my story, right? I mean, every quilt has a story. So when I look at this, that's what I think of. And Miss Mary, you made my day wonderful too, just for stopping by. I'm so excited to see all y'all. Yep. Thank you, Angel, for stopping by. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your week. And until next time, may you all continue to be inspired, productive, ever so joyful. Never stop believing You know, people talk about that believe word. I mean, not the believe word, the word of the year. Mine started last year in 2021. We chose the word believe, and we decided we were never going to change it. It is just one of those words that captures so much inside the quilting community. So never stop believing, guys. And never stop making your dreams in quilting come true. I love y'all. See y'all either Saturday in Creative Kingdom, or I'll see y'all next Wednesday for some more crazy quilting. We're going to get crazy. Love you. And I will see you all soon.